The movie starts off with the movie title shown along with some murmuring voices. We then see the silhouette of a man looking out the window. He seems lost and helpless. This man's brain is not fully grown, and that is why he is stuck being a child. The bus he is in stops and he gets down looking around. The road is bustling with home and the sun shines bright in the sky. The man stands at a bus stop nearby and asks if he can borrow a cigarette from a fellow passerby. The man is kind enough to give him a cigarette and lights it for him. He asks the route of a bus, but the man walks away. He looks around clueless and buys a sweater from a street vendor. We finally see him walk towards a door in an apartment and hide from someone as if to surprise someone. The person opens the door and he screams as if to say surprise, but his excitement soon goes away when he sees someone he doesn't recognize. He asks the tenant if a person named Hong Jong lives there, but the woman doesn't answer. He is shocked and helpless. He stands at the apartment as if expecting a miracle, but nothing occurs. He walks away disheartened. He then walks into a store asking for tofu as he's hungry, but the store doesn't have any. He walks away upset. After a while, he finds some tofu and just devours it. He's gleaming with joy, and when offered to pay, the kind shopkeeper sees his hunger and doesn't want any money. Instead, the shopkeeper hands him some milk as well to eat slowly. He eats his food and walks to a telephone booth where some girls are chatting. He asks them to lend him some money, but the girls walk away quickly as they're afraid of him. The man is disappointed but doesn't say anything. The scene changes to him in a restaurant, assuring the owners he wouldn't run away. He tells them his brother would come as soon as he picks up the call, but his brother doesn't receive the call at all. The owners are mad that he ordered food with no money. The cops arrive soon and the man tries to run away, but they catch him and bring him back. The cops arrest him and search his stuff. Apparently, his name is Hong Jong-do and has just been released after his sentence. 3 convictions of attacking, attempted using a girl, and involuntary manslaughter, where he claims he hit a worker at dawn after not seeing them on the road. He's finally free after serving 2.5 years in jail. The cops ask for his family, where he says they moved and changed their number too. He has no one and his brother never called back. He's heartbroken as he can't even reach his family. Soon, his brother comes in and he's ecstatic. His brother pays and they get out of there in his car. He asks his brother to not be angry and they soon reach their house. The door opens to reveal his mother and Jong-do hugs his mother tightly. He finds out his brother was laid off from work and they had to sell their apartment and now live in a shabby place. His family welcomes him, but soon we realize they don't really want him there. He gives his mother the same sweater he bought earlier as a present, but no one seems happy that he's returned. None of his friends want to have any connection with him. His brother tells him he needs to grow up and that his actions have consequences. Jong-do understands this and agrees to get a job. His brother vouches for him and he soon gets a food delivery job. After that, he goes to an apartment with a gift hamper. There he meets a girl who cannot really speak. She seems to suffer from a disease. We find out this is the family of the man he put to eternal sleep in a hit-and-run case. Jong-do is here to apologize and check on them, even though it seems he has no remorse. The family tells him to get out at that very instant, returning the gift hamper with him. He wishes them good luck and leaves. He finds the man's son, Han Sang-shik, who is moving out and leaving behind his cerebral palsy-stricken sister, Gong-ju, to be cared for by the neighbors. The family is horrified at Jong-do's intrusion, but he becomes intrigued by Gong-ju. Jong-do is worried about the man's sister living alone since she's disabled, but the man tells him to get lost. He goes away, but still he's worried about the disabled girl. He goes back to the apartment and leaves the gift hamper he brought before. He slightly opens the door for Gong-ju to take the food in the basket and leaves. He soon starts his job as a food delivery man and watches some men play cards. He looks at them playing, and even though he's very lonely, he rejoices in their happiness. He goes back to Gong-ju's apartment again and we see that the opening scene was her apartment. Jong-do contemplates going in to check on her but doesn't, and drives away. He sees a shooting going on and a mishap happens as he's trying to speak to them. He falls from his bike, injuring himself. His brother scolds him for being so reckless. His sister-in-law then confesses none of them like him near, since they had no worries and they all liked their life without him. Jong-do is extremely hurt by this but doesn't say a word. The next day, he walks to Gong-ju's apartment again to give her some flowers. He lies saying it's a delivery so that he can check on her. The neighbor takes care of her and he leaves. He cannot stop thinking about the poor disabled girl and keeps going back. He's intrigued and worried about her. He goes to her apartment again to meet her. He tells her he likes her and wants to know her better. The girl seems to be appalled, but Jong-do continues, saying he's found her pretty ever since he saw her. He awkwardly makes conversation and leaves his card for her to call him if she wants. Leaving, he notices and becomes interested in her feet, claiming to have never seen a woman's bare foot before. Gong-ju is startled and distressed at this extremely invasive comment from a complete stranger. Trying to pacify the startled Gong-ju, Jong-do loses control and starts to use the helpless woman, stopping only when she faints. He tries to wake her up by spraying water on her face. He flees as soon as she comes to her senses. Jong-do doesn't seem to care what he did to the girl. On the other hand, Gong-ju is intrigued to see her neighbors going at it. She feels disgusted and violated at what happened to her. In a desperate attempt to put on lipstick, Her neighbor's moaning triggers the poor girl even more. Just then, her brother arrives and takes her to their new apartment as he uses her disability status to get a better subsidized apartment where he pretends she is living. Some district officers come in to check their apartment and are satisfied to see Gong-ju there. While not knowing the truth, her brother throws her back into her apartment after the officers leave. At the apartment, Gong-ju calls Jong-do to ask him something and he immediately shows up at her apartment. There she asks him why he'd bring her flowers, to which Jong-do says he really doesn't know. He asks for forgiveness and they chat for a while. Jong-do says her name means princess and that's what he would call her as Gong-ju starts calling him a general. They are on good terms and Jong-do takes Gong-ju out for a while where she feels free and elated. She stares at the deep blue sky in awe. Then, Jong-do meets a pastor who prays for him and his sins. Deep down, Jong-do asks the Lord for forgiveness for what he did to Gong-ju. Fired from his job after crashing the scooter, Jong-do is given the opportunity to work in his brother's auto repair shop, where he also sleeps at night. Jong-do visits Gong-ju a lot and helps do her chores. They chat and talk about their favorites. When her neighbor comes in, Gong-ju lies about having no one around and soon she leaves. Gong-ju and Jong-do get closer. They sing together and Jong-do spends most of his time with her. They're really happy together despite their flaws. Gong-ju tells him how frightened she is of a shadow from a tree outside her window. Jong-do promises her that she no longer has to be afraid because he will make the shadows disappear by magic. Jong-do leaves at night and yet they talk on the phone the whole night. He consoles her when she gets scared of the tree branch shadows again. At dawn, Jong-do steals money from his sister-in-law and takes Gong-ju out on a date. While traveling, Gong-ju imagines flirting with Jong-do just like the couple across from them and giggles at the glimpse of their love. On their adventures outside of the apartment, the couple is faced with the harsh reality of a discriminating society, but is comforted by the innocent sanctity of their love. After not one restaurant allows them to eat, Jong-do brings her back to his brother's shop and orders food for them to enjoy. As Jong-do speaks to his sister-in-law on the phone, Gong-ju imagines herself dancing around and having fun like a normal woman would. This shows how much she wants to be treated like a sane, normal woman instead of some disabled burden. She imagines laughing and quarreling with Jong-do as he gets berated by his sister-in-law for stealing her money. He hand-feeds her and they spend some blissful time together. While dropping her home, they dance freely on the expressway despite the honking of the cars around. There's a glimpse of them dancing freely in her living room with the Indian woman, her child and their elephant from the Oasis picture together. Gong-ju imagines herself to be disability-free, just having fun dancing around and kissing the love of her life. As Jong-do drops her off and comes back, his brother berates him for taking the customer's car, and they heavily apologize to the car's owner as he leaves with his car. When Jong-do naively brings Gong-ju to his mother's birthday celebration, tempers flare and we learn that his older brother was the actual culprit of the hit and run. His family was glad when Jong-do volunteered to go to jail in his place. All he wanted was for Gong-ju to know his family, but his brother is clearly too irked for her to be there. His brothers are frustrated at his behavior and tell him to get her away from the family dinner that very instant. Jong-do refuses, but his brothers insist. Jong-do walks away from the conversation and feeds Gong-ju as a guest nonetheless. Jong-do refuses to be a part of the family photo when Gong-ju isn't allowed to be in it. He carefully takes her and drops her home after having fun with some karaoke and cheering Gong-ju up after she'd been mistreated by his family. Wanting to be treated like a woman, Gong-ju asks Jong-do to sleep with her back to her apartment. Jong-do agrees and they have some romantic moments. That's when her brother arrives on a surprise visit and chaos erupts. Jong-do is arrested and charged with using a handicapped woman. Gong-ju's family and the police ignore Gong-ju, who is too overcome with emotion and distress at the misunderstanding to make herself heard or understood. All of them think she's traumatized after the obvious incident. Gong-ju's brother asks for money to sweep this case under the rug, but Jong-do's brother doesn't want to pay up. Gong-ju tries to tell the truth, but she's not capable of it. She's in a lot of pain seeing Jong-do get prosecuted. She panics and has a seizure as the police take Jong-do away from her. In a final burst of passion, Jong-do escapes from the police and rushes to Gong-ju's apartment. Jong-do holds a woman captive and snatches away her phone at a desperate attempt to contact Gong-ju, but in vain. Gong-ju stares at the oasis and his promise to cast the shadows away. But suddenly, the tree's shadows start falling off and we see the couple reaffirms their love as Jong-do fulfills his promise of making the shadows disappear by climbing the tree and cutting the branches off. Gong-ju is trying her hardest to look at Jong-do and to prove his innocence, but it's to no avail. Her heart aches as the only man who loved her is being taken away. Soon enough, Jong-do falls and is hauled off to prison, having committed several additional crimes in his trip to see Gong-ju, whose exoneration can no longer fully protect him. In the last scene, Gong-ju is cleaning her apartment alone, while Jong-do's voice is heard reading a letter to her, promising to come back when he is released and showing how much he loves her. For more movie recaps like this, like and subscribe and recaps to help the channel out.